welcome everybody to another video. Hopefully you are all doing amazing today. So as you can all tell by the title, we're going to be ranking least popular Among Us color to the most popular color in Among Us. So let's just get straight into this. Obviously, if you guys could, before we do get going, is drop a like, subscribe to the channel. That would be muchly appreciated. But apart from that, hope you all have a good enjoy this video, and let's just get straight into this. Okay, so what Among Us most and least popular colors reveal about the players who obviously use those colors. So Among Us has 12 different colors with crewmates players can choose from. But after being popular for so long, some colors come with different kind of attitudes and stuff. So let's have a look. So coming in at number 12, we have the Among Us color brown. This is the least popular color which people use. And the reasons why. So developer Inner Sloth revealed that brown is the least popular crewmate color in Among Us. Since brown is at the bottom of the coolness totem pole, players who use the color have usually had their favorite color taken. So basically, if you ever see someone using brown in the game, you may have been the person that stole their favorite color and they've had to use brown out of just having to use it and have no other colors available, causing that character who's using the color brown to be annoyed, frustrated, or toxic during those games. Most likely. That can result in them getting in others' nerves and getting them voted off early. Okay, so coming in at number 11, we have the color lime. Lime ranks very low in the popularity scale due to the fact that the color is obviously rarely used. Other players confuse it with the color green or call it lime green, or light green, sorry, which allows lime to slip under the radar as kind of a ghost crewmate, because people just don't seem to notice they're still in the game. That often mistakes them for people usually mistake them for a different color, which can be extremely useful as the imposter or extremely annoying when no one listens to them. So basically, if you are the color lime, you kind of go under the radar. No one really detects you as the imposter, and also if you are the color lime, no one tends to listen to you. You tend to be kind of like a ghost. No one seems to really realize you're in the game. Coming at number 10, we have the color green, the kind of what people like to call the dark green. A green is one of the least popular colors in Among Us, and players who choose to use him are often used as scapegoat. Since lime frequently just gets called green, the actual green player almost always gets wrapped up in something that they had nothing to do with. This actually brings it the reason why it comes in number 10. Not a lot of people like to use green, because if lime is actually the imposter and people are saying that it's lime, they usually say in the chat it's green, but they mean lime. So basically, the green guy always kind of just gets kind of brought into the drama within the chat without really doing anything at all. So those situations can cause green to accidentally get voted off if someone says it's green when they actually mean it's lime, and just enough people vote for the wrong player. So that does happen quite often as well. So that's why not a lot of people use the color green. Okay, so coming at number 9, we have orange. Orange is a wild card. No one knows where they'll find them or what they'll do next. This degree of unpredictability can either let them go on a murderous rampage or get caught up in Among Us events in the first few minutes of the game. The same thing applies to them as the crewmates. They either discover the imposter right away or call them me in with no plans at all. So in other words, Orange is one of them characters you get in the game where you just don't really know what they are could be up to. They could be anywhere. They could be killing, murdering sprees, or they could just be an absolute noob. Orange is just that player where they don't really know what to do. You don't get an orange player who does the same thing every game. You get an orange player that can be an absolute beast of the game, can just murder off the whole people, or it can be a complete noob. There's no in between. They're just random. You don't know what you're going to get when you get an orange team player. And they're coming at number 9 in the popularity scale. Okay, moving into number 8, we got the color purple. Purple is perceived as the de facto imposter. While red is often seen as suspicious, purple is accused of being guilty on as little as a hunch and voted off when players need to get someone off the ship. So in other words, purple is that kind of character where if you need to vote someone off, you're most likely going to vote for purple. Purple has the same odds of being imposter as everyone else in the lobby, but this astronaut struggles to avoid raising eyebrows. Purple just seems to be that kind of character where you will vote them off if you need to vote somebody. Let's say you're on 6 players, there's 2 imposters left. You need to vote when you're on 6. Purple is the one you're most likely going to end up voting off, is basically what's going to happen. And that's where they're coming at number 8 on the popularity scale. Okay, so moving into number 7 position, we have the color pink. Pink is seen as the crewmate that avoids confrontation and has trouble defending themselves because they either aren't familiar with the map or forgot what they did earlier in the game. This degree of cluelessness almost always gets them voted off early, since they struggle to come up with an alibi when someone accuses them of being an imposter. I'm not gonna lie, I find this to be quite true. I always find the pink person always seems to say in the call or in the chat, it's not me, and someone will be like, okay, tell me what task you've done. They never be able to tell you. They always stutter, and even with that little stutter, they're gone. I do find Pink to also be that kind of character that kind of goes under the radar as well quite a bit, because they don't seem to talk very much, but when they're an imposter, I do find Pink plays very well as an imposter because no one really suspects them at all. Moving into position number 6, we have the colour blue. Blue is the most level-headed of the astronauts, meaning they often be quiet and attentive. They'll ask probing questions as a crewmate and let other players bicker among themselves when they're imposters. So Blue is kind of that character that kind of just sits back. It's kind of like the law, really. He asks questions, doesn't really get really aggressive with anybody, doesn't get defensive, just kind of sits there, assesses the situation, and acts responsive. However, as Blue, if the Blue is the imposter, he will let other players bicker among themselves. This can be a great part of the Blue character because genuinely people who use the dark blue colour tend to just let other players do their thing and kind of just sit back and relax, and hopefully the other crewmates won't go at him. That's what he tries to do. And when they do go at him, he asks very reasonable questions and doesn't raise suspicions due to the fact he doesn't get aggressive or really defensive. Anyway, moving to top 5. Among Us colour stereotype is now yellow at number 5 position. So yellow is seen as the naive one. Their trust of everyone won't get them killed early, but they often get manipulated into being the third imposter in Among Us. That means that they will act harmlessly around yellow to get them to vouch for the imposter unintentionally. Yellow typically survives until late in the match, but only because they're used as a pawn in the murder's master plan. So in other words, if you are a person who uses the yellow skin, you may be seen as a bit of a gullible person and goes along with anyone that tells you should go along with them. So for example, if the imposter is with you for most of the round, he'll just be like, oh, it's not me because yellow was with me. And you'll be like, yeah, he was. He's not the killer. And you might back him to the end of the game and literally give the imposters the win. So in other words, as the imposter, they don't play very well with yellow player. They're kind of like unknown as the imposter. People don't think it's be them because they're quite naive. They haven't got really a lot of thought process going into their master plan when they are actually the imposter. However, when they are crewmate, they're usually kept to the end of the game. Moving into our number 4 position, and this is my colour skin. So let's see what they say about the sign characters. This is the colour stereotype number 4, which is Cyan in the popularity scale. So Cyan is typically an aggressive voter. Sometimes I am, to be fair. They will argue what another crewmate needs to be voted out in every meeting, even if there isn't enough evidence to back them up. This might work if a lobby struggles to decide who is selected, but it backfires a lot of time and gets them voted out instead. This is actually true. I actually believe this is actually weirdly stereotyping me as a Cyan player. I do feel that when I go into not every meeting, but quite a few meetings, I do get kind of like, not aggressive, but I will want to push for someone to get voted out if I do think it's them, or I think they've had enough evidence on them that they should be voted out. Some people might not believe I have enough evidence, but I will push for someone to get voted out if I believe it's them. However, when I am the imposter, this does usually end up getting me voted off quite a lot of times, or even when I'm the crewmate, it usually gets me voted off quite a lot of times. And yeah, that's why they come at position number 4 in the popularity scale. Okay, so we're moving to the top 3 of the most popular Among Us colour skins. So yeah, let's get straight into number 3, which is the stereotype of White. White is the most trusted of the crewmates. If they equip the Among Us Angel Halo as well, this even brings their suspicion levels down a lot. This crew member often gets the benefit of the doubt, and other colours have to work hard to prove they are guilty. Since others take their word of truth, this makes White the prime target for the imposter, or they could make a dastardly murder themselves. So, in other words, the White character seems to be the character that people trust the most, even if they could even be the imposter. People just seem to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't vote them off based on evidence. They need a lot of evidence before this character can be voted off. So, me being the Cyan character, I could be like, I've seen White murder. People would be like, no, they vote off me instead of the White character due to the fact they seem to trust the White character more, which can be such a bonus of being the White character. Especially putting your Halo on, you can really get away with quite a lot before you get voted off as the White character. So if you are the imposter, I do recommend you guys to vote off White or kill White off early, because they will be your hardest person to try and get voted off in your Among Us games. And I gotta be honest with you, I do actually believe this. I have seen a lot of times where the White character has killed and gotten away with it with a benefit of the doubt card, and I don't usually see this with other colour characters within the Among Us game. Anyway, let's move into the top 2, moving to position number 2 of the most popular colours to use in the game. So coming number 2 is the black character. And what is the stereotype of the black character in Among Us? Black is often seen as the leader of the group. They're either asking the tough questions or directing the discussion to get as much information as possible. They're the group's authority. They're like the police, which can allow them to pull a strong strings in almost any lobby they're in as the imposter. So in other words, the black character in Among Us is usually seen as the person that is getting stuff done. They are not here to mess about in the meetings, they're here to get stuff done. And that's why here's the second most popular character in the game. Okay, so you guys may have guessed who is going to be coming at number 1 in the most popular skin. It is red. So let's look at what red is stereotyped as in the game. So red is the most popular color in the game and is almost always being very suspicious. So since the red crewmate is often portrayed as the imposter in many of Innersloth's promotional content, it's difficult to shake the stereotype in the game. Players selecting red should move confidently because one bad move or one suspicious move and someone is bound to type in the chat red is sus or red is the imposter. So in other words, red is always seen as the imposter or the most likely to be the imposter. This is a big issue for the red, even though he's the most popular skin or color to use. It's mental to think that he's so popular within the game to use the color red, however he is always seen as the imposter. You wouldn't have thought people would use him if he's always seen the imposter, but he is the most popular skin. He is always seen as suspicious, so even if you are a crewmate, being the red character, you do have to be very, very, very careful with your moves. And let me know if you guys ever main character is the red. Hope you've enjoyed this top list of the most popular to the least popular colors in Among Us. Let me know if the stereotypes seem to be right for your color character. For me, as a cyan main character, I always find that that is actually kind of true. I don't feel like I'm too aggressive at means unless I'm getting outed as being the imposter. However, I will get very aggressive when someone is not getting voted off and they should be voted off. Was the color correction right, you guys? Was the stereotype right? Do you think it was wrong? Let me know in the comment section down below. Apart from that, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video on Among Us, least the most popular colors. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.